Greetings and welcome. This is our supercalifragilisticexpialidocious family night. We'll have a vexing vocabulary and literacy adventure tonight. At the end, we'll talk about an upcoming idiom day. So, welcome to our first ever vexing vocabulary adventure. Our adventures for tonight are that we're going to discover the goodies that were sent home in the virtual parent night pack. We'll read a vexing vocabulary adventure. We'll learn to play a game with your family members so you can play that game. K3 students will learn about the Read to Achieve guidelines, and all families will view our school's annual public meeting and discover what it means to be a Title I school. At the end, don't forget you'll have to take a survey for a chance to win a drawing and a raffle. So, are you ready for these extravagant events? We're going to click next. Vocabulary escapades, digging into a book. Did you know the word escapades just means adventures? In your family night take home bag, you will find materials for tonight. You will need the game materials after we read this book, and your child picked out a book that you can read on a different night. We are going to read a book focused on idioms. The title is My Teacher Likes to Say. Watch while we read this book and discuss and help you think about some of the words in this book.
Good evening. Welcome to Annual Public Meeting and Literacy Night. We're so happy that you joined us. My name is Miss Sapp. I'm part of the fourth grade team along with Miss Davis and Miss Livia. So today we're going to read a book. It's going to focus on literal and figurative language. So an idiom is a type of figurative language. It doesn't mean literal, that it is for real what it's saying. It just has another meaning. So thinking about everyone's like, oh my goodness, it cost me an arm and a leg. But everyone's walking around with their arm and their leg, or most people are anyway. So it doesn't literally mean it cost you that to get it. It's just meaning, hey, it was really expensive. It costs a lot of money. So it doesn't match what the literal meaning of it is, but it's kind of a fun play on words that a lot of us use a lot more than we probably realize. I know that I do. But sometimes students are like, what do you mean? Because they're like, really? Do you really mean that? I'm like, no, it's just this idiom. It's figurative language. It's just kind of a play on the words. So today I'm going to read the book My Teacher Likes to Say. It is written by Denise Brennan Nelson and illustrated by Jane Monroe Donovan. So there's our little teacher's pet right there. All right. Does your teacher ever say things that you think are quite amusing? Does your teacher ever say things that you find a bit confusing? My teacher says some funny things like, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, don't beat around the bush, and a watched pot never boils. She tells me that I'm sharp as a tack. Please tell me what that means. Sometimes she says I'm smart as a whip, and she thinks I'm full of beans. She often says, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, but I have no idea what that has to do with me. My teacher doesn't know this, but I have a small confession. I love the things my teacher says, every sweet and odd expression. So there are several idioms within even this first page. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. Don't beat around the bush. A watched pot never boils. Sharp as a tack, smart as a whip, full of beans. So do we really think that people are sharp as a tack? I'm not sharp as a tack, but it just means that you're really smart. Don't beat around the bush. We're not walking around hitting bushes. We're just getting to the point. What's your point? So don't beat around the bush. Get to the point there. So there are a lot on this page. All right. Do you have ants in your pants? My teacher likes to say. I say it a lot. I'm not sure what she means, but I like it anyway. When I have ants in my pants, I squirm and wiggle and shout. I jump up and down and twist around so the ants in my pants fall out. So we can see the ants in the pants there, which you can literally have ants in your pants, but it's also figurative language. So just a cool little fact that's on the top left hand of the page. It says, is there a gadfly in one's breeches? That was the expression used in the 17th century when someone was jumpy and restless. Now, thanks to several 20th century writers, we may ask, do you have ants in your pants? In 1939, this expression appeared in a play, The Man Who Came to Dinner. I'll get the ants out of those moonlit pants. The next time someone asks you if you have ants in your pants, and you could reply, why no, I have a gadfly in my breeches. Doesn't sound quite as fun. So yes, ants in your pants. You just can't sit still, like if you had ants in your pants. Two heads are better than one, my teacher likes to say. I'm not sure what she means, but I like it anyway. I suppose she's right. A second head could come in rather handy, except for when I have a treat, which mouth would get the candy? So one literal meaning of two heads are better than one, kind of what it means. It says, have you ever had a hard time figuring something out by yourself? Often when you ask someone to help, you can work it out together. This expression means that having help from someone is easier than doing it on your own. It was first used in 1390. So a lot of times whenever you're having a difficulty in completing something or you just can't come up with a good idea, sometimes get somebody else's ideas because two heads are better than one. We're not walking around with two heads. This is one of my favorite. Put on your thinking cap, my teacher likes to say. I'm not sure what he means, but I like it anyway. I wish I had a thinking cap that did my math for me. I'd wear it during science and at every spelling bee. So put on your thinking cap. I mean, you can wear a hat, but is it your thinking cap? So one cool literal meaning says, I don't know about you, but I like to daydream. I put on my thinking cap when I need to concentrate. When your teacher says this to you, she wants you to focus on what you are doing. If you had an actual thinking cap that could do your thinking for you, what would you want to think about? Imagine you're on the bus, like, uh-oh, I forgot my thinking cap today. Please button your lip, my teacher likes to say. I'm not sure what she means, but I like it anyway. I'll have to ask my mom to sew a button on my lip. Maybe she will add instead a zipper I could zip. I say zip your lips. That's what I say. All right, so this poor boy and this poor bunny, they have their mouths buttoned. People may say this to you when they want you to be quiet or if they tell you a secret that they don't want anyone else to know. This is a 20th century American expression. Similar expressions are clam up and hold your tongue. If you hold your tongue, you're going to sound kind of funny, right? But it's kind of like, don't say anything. Buttons were originally used for decoration. It wasn't until the 1300s that they were actually used as fasteners. They used to, they were just to be pretty, but now they actually had usage and fasten. After buttons came zippers. The zipper was patented on August 29, 1893. Before it was called a zipper, it was called a clasp locker. Zippers began to replace buttons on men's pants in the 1930s. Next came Velcro. George de Mestral invented Velcro in the 1940s. The cockleburs that got stuck on his pants and in his dog's fur inspired him to create Velcro. Instead of saying button or zip your lip, we could say Velcro your lip. Still losing it. The early bird gets the worm, my teacher likes to say. I'm not sure what she means, but I like it anyway. If that's what you could get when you're early, then I guess I'd rather be late. Because an ooey, gooey, squishy worm doesn't sound that great. Look at their faces. They're getting served these worms. That bird's pretty happy though. So think about the early bird gets the worm. Have you ever been awakened by the birds? They get up very early and can often seem out looking and digging for worms. So when your teacher says this to you, she is encouraging you to be early so that you don't miss out on anything. Sometimes stores have what they call early bird specials. Restaurants do too. Only the people that get to the store early, which are the early birds, get the special deal. so we can look for early bird specials around the holidays. This is a proverb that dates back to 1636. The Italians have a similar expression, ci dorme, which means he who sleeps catches no fish. I like the next one. I'm as hungry as a bear. My teacher likes to say, I'm not sure what she means, but I like it anyway. When our teacher's really hungry, he gets a beastly scowl. But we know he's just a teddy bear because we've never heard him growl. The bear's eating quite a bit of food. I also like his little lunchbox. It says busy as a bee because bees are always buzzing around and they're very busy. Another idiom is a beastly scowl. It's really, he's hangry, right? So cool fact about bears, that bear's eating a big sandwich. It says your teacher is really hungry when he uses this expression because bears eat a lot. They eat an average of 35 pounds of food every day. It would take us 2 weeks to eat that much. There are different kinds of bears that eat different kinds of foods. Grizzly bears eat berries, grass, fish, small animals like rats, and even bigger animals like deer. Polar bears eat fish and walruses, but their favorite dinner is seals. Pandas will eat bamboo for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Sun bears really love honey and sloths like ants and termites. We all know that teddy bears don't need food. They just need lots of love, right? Stick together, my teacher likes to say. I'm not sure what she means, but I like it anyway. The duct tape didn't work, so we need some super glue. And now we stick together like our teacher told us to. So teachers aren't going to tell you to get some super glue and glue all yourselves together. Stick together. Remember, we just need to stay together and go to we're all together. Nobody needs to be going off somewhere. We need to stick together, not literally. I loved going on field trips when I was a kid. Our teacher would say, stick together. It was fun to imagine all of us stuck together. What a mess. When your teacher says stick together, she wants you to stay close to one another so no one gets lost or left behind. But if you're silly like me, you can imagine whatever you want. The first glue patent was issued in Britain in the 1750s, or in 1750. In 1951, Dr. Harry Coover discovered the sticky substance that was a useful product for glue. He's so cute. Says the pen is mightier than the sword. My teacher likes to say, I'm not sure what she means, but I like it anyway. I fought a monster in our room. As the class cheered and roared, I won because I used my pen and he only had his sword. So if you think about going to battle with, somebody has a sword, somebody has a pen, I think we know who's going to win, and it's not going to be the one with the pen. But the pen is mightier than a sword is an idiom. It's obviously not literal. So that expression of the pen is mightier than the sword began in 1582 as no more sword to be feared than the learned pen. It means that writing can be more powerful than fighting. There have been many written documents that have been very powerful to prove how mighty written words can be. Consider the Declaration of Independence, the Magna Carta, and the Bible, just to name a few. Every dog has its day. My teacher likes to say, I'm not sure what that means, but I like it anyway. Today will be my dog's day. He hasn't had his turn. How to be the teacher's pet. The class is going to learn. All right, so think about every dog has its day, and then also teacher's pet. I've never known a teacher, teacher probably might have a pet. I have a pet, but a teacher's pet, I don't have a pet here, right? So the expression, every dog has its day, was used by Shakespeare in Hamlet in Act 5, Scene 1. He said, let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will meow, and the dog will have his day. It means that eventually everyone will have an opportunity or get a chance at something. Every dog has its day. So you may not get to do it today. You may not get to do it tomorrow, but you'll have your turn. You'll get your turn to do whatever it is that you're wanting to do. And do you know what it means to be the teacher's pet? What do you think that means? Think about it. Teacher's pet. Usually it means like the one that thinks is the teacher's favorite, that can't do anything wrong, right? It's the teacher's pet. So think if you have a dog and it had its day, what could your dog teach in class? These walls have ears. My teacher likes to say. I'm not sure what she means, but I like it anyway. Some ears are big, some ears are small. Who cleans the ears that are on the wall? That's pretty gross, especially the first one. So this expression, these walls have ears, means to be careful of what you say because you never know who may be listening. Think about that. If you're like talking about somebody and they might be right around the corner, you don't know, so you don't need to say something you don't want someone else to know about what they may possibly pop in. But the expression was used in World War II as a security slogan to warn people of enemy agents. It has been traced back to 1387 when it was fields have eyes and woods have ears. There are similar sayings of these walls have ears in French, Spanish, German, and Russian, just different versions. Great oaks from little acorns grow. I love this. My teacher likes to say, I'm not sure what she means, but I like it anyway. If a little tiny acorn can become a giant tree, then I can hardly wait to see what I can be. I love this so much. Think about these little acorns. They're so small. You see them on the ground. And then they may grow into a huge tree that we see that started as an itty bitty little acorn. You may hear this expression said in different ways, such as tall oaks from little acorns grow, or little acorns into great oaks grow. But the meaning is the same. Great things often start off very small. When I was a kid, my dad would say, if your place in life seems small and unimportant, just remember, the mighty oak was once a nut like you. Hey. It first appeared in Chaucer's Troilus and Cresside, written in 1385. So think about our students. Great oaks from little acorns grow. You guys have grown so much and developed so much. Think about since a baby and think about now. All the things that you've learned, even when you feel like you've learned nothing, you've learned so much and you're going to learn so more and you're going to keep growing. You're going to grow physically, but also you're going to grow in your knowledge. No more monkey business. Look at that monkey. My teacher likes to say, I'm not sure what she means, but I like it anyway. We did what our teacher told us and we hung the sign today. We're going out of business, so now we get to play. So they said they're going out of business. If you have ever watched monkeys, you know that they can be very playful and silly. Your teacher may say this to you if you're fooling around and not getting your work done. Can you think of how other idioms that compare human behavior to an animal, a fox, an owl, a hen? Think about that. Think of something that you may have heard before. My teacher says so many things that have a special way of making me feel good inside and brightening up my day. So when she says, I'll miss you and I'm very proud of you, I really hope my teacher knows I'm going to miss her too. So sweet. So I hope that this kind of gave a good understanding of figurative language versus literal language. And there's probably several that I skipped and they are missed, but I want you to think about that even in everyday life, how often that maybe you hear or maybe even use idioms and we don't literally mean it. So again, we have Idiom Day coming up soon, so we're looking forward to that. 4th grade, our book was about it, so we kind of going in with a little bit more knowledge. So thank you again for joining us on Literacy Night, and please remember to finish everything that we have planned for you, and don't forget to take the survey.
When you read text with words and phrases like this, you can have conversations with your family members about your thinking. So, are you ready for an invigorating, exciting activity? Click Next. Vocabulary Adventure with a game. Now we're going to play a game focused on the book we just read. Let's play Connect 4 Vocabulary Edition. Get out your goodies for the game and let's share with you the directions and how this game works.
Hello, students and parents. I hope you enjoyed the story. This is Mrs. Lydia, and I am part of the 4th grade team. I'm here to tell you about our literacy game called 4 in a Row Vocabulary Edition. Every student in the 4th grade received a copy of this game, and also they received 2 papers with leaves on them that you will need to cut out into squares, and then you will need 2 people to play. So to play this game, you take turns defining a word or a phrase from the text that was read and cover the spot. To win, you have to be the first player to get 4 in a row. So whoever goes first would pick a word or a phrase, and so I'm going to choose put your thinking cap on, and so then I would need to define that. And so put your thinking cap on doesn't mean physically put on a thinking cap, but it means to get ready to learn or to think or to solve a problem. And so then I'm going to go ahead and put my leaf over that. And then my partner gets to have a turn, and if they solve theirs correctly, they'll get to put a leaf over theirs. And then it's my turn again, and I'm going to go here to 2 heads are better than 1, which means that if you have a really difficult problem, 2 people trying to solve and think about how to solve that problem is going to be better than just 1 person. And so we would get to cover that one, and then you would continue playing back and forth until somebody gets 4 in a row. And you can try and stop your partner from getting 4 in a row by taking a spot next to where they're going and then continue. And so then I may go here and partner back and forth, and you keep playing until somebody gets 4 in a row. You play it lots of different times. Get an older sibling or a parent or a friend to help you play, and enjoy.
Now take this time to play the game with a family member. Did you know you can buy board games from the store that also strengthen your vocabulary? Try finding these games. Apples to Apples, Headbands, Pictionary, Junior Scrabble. So are you ready for an additional, that just means more, information? Click Next. If you don't have a kindergartner through 3rd grade student, you can skip this section. We need to share with you what the K-3 Read to Achieve guidelines are. Do you know what guidelines are? That just means rules. Let's learn about the guidelines of the North Carolina Read to Achieve law for all kindergarten through 3rd grade students.
This recording is designed to help all parents and guardians of North Carolina public school students in kindergarten through 3rd grade understand the North Carolina Read to Achieve law. Throughout the presentation, you will see the translation of Spanish at the bottom of the screen. The goal of this legislation is for all students to become proficient readers by the end of 3rd grade. Read to Achieve outlines reading requirements for elementary students and describes what schools will be doing to assist children in reaching the proficiency goal. In every North Carolina kindergarten through 3rd grade class, a student's literacy development is measured regularly using M-Class Dibbles 8th edition. Dibbles 8th edition is an assessment tool for all K-3 students, and it enables teachers to automate scoring and receive instant targeted instructional recommendations. This assessment helps teachers understand what instruction your child needs. By state law, if your child is reading below grade level or struggling with reading, the school must inform you of exactly what type of reading difficulty your child is having and what instructions or interventions are being used to help advance his or her skills. All parents and guardians should receive a Read to Achieve parent notification letter each month. The goal of the state is to ensure that every student read at or above grade level by the end of third grade and continue to progress in reading proficiency so that he or she can read, comprehend, integrate, and apply complex text needed for secondary education and career success. By the end of third grade, students are expected to be an independent reader, which means that they can read and understand words, sentences, and paragraphs, and answer comprehension questions about their reading. At the beginning of third grade, all students will take the BOG for reading. This is the beginning of grade test. Parents will receive the results of these tests. If students receive a proficiency level on the BOG, they have met the requirements for the Read to Achieve law. All students must still take the EOG in each spring. Third grade students are tested in reading and math. Their scores fall into one of 5 proficiency levels, ranging from level 1, which is the lowest, to level 5, which is the highest. The Read to Achieve law requires third graders who score at level 1 or 2 in reading on the third grade end of grade test to be retained and not promoted to fourth grade. However, students can receive a good cause exemption by showing proficiency on a Read to Achieve test, which is given after the EOG. A local alternative assessment approved by the State Board of Education, or through a completed reading portfolio. There are a few additional exemptions. Students who do not show proficiency after third grade or who do not qualify for a good cause exemption are encouraged to attend reading camp. This camp will be provided by the local school district and will be of no cost to you. The reading camps will offer at least 72 hours of instruction. Students are encouraged to attend reading camps for extra support toward reading proficiency. More information about reading camp will be shared later in the year. If a student is still not proficient at the end of the summer, a decision is made by the principal and teachers most familiar with the student about the placement for the following year. Why is the law being implemented? This law focuses on early identification and early intervention for students who are struggling with reading skill development and comprehension. In order to reduce the need for high remedial classes in middle and high schools, to increase the graduation rate, and to have all students college and career ready at graduation, the state needs to be proactive in its approach to offer multiple and intensive opportunities for struggling readers at an early age. For more information, you may contact your child's school or visit the website below, https://ncbpi.instructure.com/courses/1524.
Moving right along now, we'll click Next. Last, did you know what it means to acquire knowledge? It means to learn. So let's learn about what it means to be a Title I school. You can watch the video below in English or Spanish. I'll play the English one and there will be Spanish translations below.
Oh, Hello, and welcome to the Title I Annual Public Meeting. What is Title I? Title I is the largest single federal funding source for education. It is intended to help ensure that all children have the opportunity to obtain a high-quality education and reach proficiency on challenging state academic content and performance standards. Title I began with the passage of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, or ESEA, of 1965, which provided federal funding for high-poverty schools to help students who were behind academically and at risk of falling behind. Current federal guidance governing the use of Title I funds is provided by the Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA, which was passed in December of 2015. Eligibility and expenditures. In the Randolph County school system, elementary schools with free and reduced lunch percentages of 50 or more are eligible to receive the Title I funding. Title I funds are used to upgrade the operation of the entire school. Title I funds are used to fund additional teachers to reduce class size, fund tutors, fund additional reading specialists, purchase materials, supplies, and equipment, provide professional development for teachers and staff, provide parent and family engagement events. Current plans for utilizing this year's 2021 Title I funds include the continuation of similar types of expenditures at the school level. The following schools are Title I schools within our school district. What are the components of Title I? All Title I schools must complete an annual comprehensive needs assessment that drives the aspects of the school's operations. School reform strategies must be implemented to address identified needs. There must be high quality and ongoing professional development for staff. Parent and family engagement is a critical and integral part of the day-to-day operations in a Title I school. And strategies must be in place to assist in the transitions between academic grade levels. Teachers are actively involved in the use of assessments, and instructional decisions are driven by data analysis. Title I schools must conduct an annual review of the effectiveness of the school-wide program, and Title I schools must coordinate and integrate resources and services from federal, state, and local sources. Parent involvement in our Title I schools. As mentioned, Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA, has a requirement that describes the rights of parents to be involved in their child's school and requires that programs, activities, and procedures shall be planned and implemented with meaningful consultation with parents of participating children. Federal law mandates that Title I schools include parents in the school improvement process and on the school improvement team. Our district, the Randolph County School System, has parent involvement policies, which have been adopted. The Title I Parent and Family Engagement Policy, or Policy Code 1320-3560, drives the engagement that we have in a Title I school. In addition, our school district has the Parent Involvement Policy Code 1310-4002. Both can be accessed on the district website by clicking on the Board of Education link and conducting a search with these policy number codes. Parent and family engagement in the Title I schools provides multiple informational parent and family engagement events, including an annual public meeting, which is this presentation here, that are designed to assist in creating and fostering relationships between the home and the school in order to best meet the needs of every child. Each spring, Title I school surveys parents to determine how to continue to meet the needs of the students and families in the communities they serve. And information from the survey is examined and discussed by the school improvement team at each school. We also have a student school parent compact. ESSA affirms that student academic achievement is a shared responsibility between the school and home. The compact outlines how parents, school staff, and students will share the responsibility for improved student academic achievement throughout the school year. We ask that you sign and return this compact if you have not done so. We ask that you share updated information if your phone number or email changes. We appreciate your time this evening. If you have questions or comments, please ask your school administrator. Thank you for your continued support of the Randolph County School System.
So are you ready to proceed? That means keep going. Click next. Farewell for now. Did you know that's a synonym for goodbye? In conclusion, on Thursday, October 28th, in 1 week, please join us for Idiom Dress Up Day. Idioms are sayings like under the weather, pulling someone's leg, eyes in the back of your head, and you learned about lots of others today. We hope you enjoy our vexing vocabulary adventure. Please take a moment to fill out the survey. Anyone who watched this recording, please make sure all names are on the survey so we can count your attendance, and you'll all be entered to win a prize. Fill out this survey now and submit it. Thanks for watching. We hope you attend next parent night. It'll be math night in December.